So I'm pretty sure Hugh Jackman is immortal. No, I know Wolverine is immortal. Not Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. That guy does not age. Have you seen that guy? Hey guys, so the new X-Men movie Days of Future Past is now in theaters. So it's been in theaters for a few days now, so I'm assuming a vast majority of you guys have seen it. So since that is the case, I'm going to do a spoiler movie review. I'm going to divide the movie into two parts, the story and the characters. So first up, the story. Simon Kinberg, the screenwriter and the producer of the film, and director Bryan Singer had a very difficult task of taking a very complex storyline, X-Men Days of Future Past, and making it into a comprehensive film that everyone can enjoy. Okay, so Wolverine goes back in time into his old self into 1973 in order to stop Mystique from killing Bolivar Trask, the creator of the Sentinels, and this sparks the government to fear the mutants, and that's why they create the future Sentinels, which then not only target mutants, but also humans that have the potential to be mutants. As all comic book movies, this is a significant departure from the original comics, where Kitty Pryde goes back in time, but since these X-Men films have already been created, it makes sense for Wolverine to go back in time. As convoluted and as messy a time travel movie can be, they actually explain it pretty well. Simon Kinberg and Bryan Singer had the enormous task of correcting all the continuity errors of all the past X-Men films. So this movie is somewhat of a prequel slash sequel slash reboot, which I guess is the first of its kind, maybe? The story is not only just a great way to get both casts of X-Men First Class and the original X-Men trilogy together, but it's also a great way to correct the errors of the previous X-Men continuity errors, and it's just a really cool, epic, fun film. Now obviously there's still some questions left unanswered, such as how did Kitty Pryde get the power to move people's consciousness back in time? And how did Professor X, who died in X-Men The Last Stand, how is he still alive? But for some reason, as an audience, you kind of just overlook that and just enjoy the movie for what it is. Now it's time to talk about the heart of the movie, which is the characters. I really felt that what drove this movie was the characters and the emotion and energy they bring to the story. So I'm going to divide the characters into two categories, the future characters and the past characters. Now let's start with the future characters. So first of all, there's Colossus. Now I remember Colossus from the first X2 movie, and I thought he was awesome. I love this character. So coming into this movie, when the future Sentinels were attacking, I was like, man, Colossus is going to take them all out. Well, that obviously wasn't the case, and he had very short scenes. I mean, they were still cool, awesome, fun fight scenes, but they were pretty short path. Now this was a guy with the knives, and he could sense the Sentinels. Now he was also one of the new characters in the X-Men movies. But he had some really cool fight scenes, but again, we didn't see too much of him. Sunspot. Okay, so coming into this movie, my mom previously saw this report on Sunspot, and she came up to me and she said, oh, did you know there's a Mexican actor in the X-Men movie? And I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I've heard of it, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to play a major role. And my mom was like, no, you'll see, he's going to play a major role. Well, obviously he didn't play a major role. He didn't even have a speaking line. But he was still a cool character to see. Iceman. Alright, so coming into this movie, I was excited to see Iceman with his fully realized powers, all covered in ice. But when he came out in the movie and he fought the Sentinels, and he died and his head got crushed, I was like, did Iceman just die? Okay, now coming into this movie, I really thought that my favorite character of the new X-Men not seen in the films between Bishop, Blink, and Warpath was obviously going to be Bishop. Bishop was awesome in the animated series and in the comics, so coming into this movie, I really thought he was going to have a significant role. But he kind of doesn't, which is kind of a disappointment. But my favorite of this group of future X-Men was by far Blink. Blink was freaking awesome. Now, we have seen teleportation in past X-Men films with Nightcrawler and Azazel, and it was dope. But what Blink did in this X-Men movie was something we've never seen before. She made like teleportation portals, and she could put her friends, herself, or her enemies through them. So when she was making those teleportation portals and just jumping through them, or putting the Sentinels through them, that was by far my favorite part of the battle with the future Sentinels. Now let's get to the past X-Men characters. So X-Men First Class is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. So the primary reason why this is because of younger Magneto and young Professor X, played by James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. And for this movie, it's the same thing. Professor X. So in this movie, we see a battered and broken Professor Xavier who's addicted to a serum that allows him to walk, but also removes his power. James McAvoy does a fantastic job with this role. And eventually he does save the day because he stops Mystique from killing Trask. Alright, Magneto. Magneto is my favorite mutant by far and one of my favorite comic book villains of all time. I love Magneto. Magneto is played by Michael Fassbender, and Michael Fassbender kills it as Magneto. Every time he's on the screen, he steals every single scene. Now what's cool about Magneto in this movie is we get to see his genius. The first part we get to see his genius is when he takes the train railroad tracks and puts them inside the Sentinels so he can control the Sentinels. It's so cool. And second part is when he takes up that stadium and lifts it up. One of the coolest scenes I've seen in an X-Men film in a long time. And he kills it every time he's in it. And I was like a little kid just watching Michael Fassbender on the screen as Magneto. I was like, go Magneto! Quicksilver. Okay, so Quicksilver was actually a surprise in the movie. He had one of the coolest scenes in the movie, and he had definitely the most lighthearted, humorous parts of the movie. And he was just a fun, cool character that you really enjoyed a lot. And some great stuff from Quicksilver. So one of the funny things I was thinking about was average fans, so non-X-Men film fans might have been like, wait, is that Katniss Everdeen? Wait, is she blue? Is she naked? Finally, there's Wolverine. Wolverine is pretty much the main character in this movie. We follow him throughout the whole movie, future and past, and he pretty much delivers in every way. Hugh Jackman does another fantastic job as Wolverine, and he is just really taking this character to heart and really delivered in a great way. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It's my favorite movie of the year by far. It had great action, great scenes. There were some questions still left unanswered and some stuff that could have been better explained, but overall it had a really good, captivating story, a well-told story with really good, energetic characters. I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. Give me your thoughts of X-Men Days of Future Past down in the comment section below, or if you have any other questions or stuff like that, just let me know. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it, obviously, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys.